So what we're going to do, I'm just going to kind of go through what the program is. I got a few folks that I'm going to call on randomly. They don't even know that it's going to happen. So in your mind, go ahead and start thinking about, is it going to be you and or not, to answer just some really easy questions about the program. Take some time to answer questions, and really just kind of have a good time. So what you'll notice about the group here, a lot of folks on the call are either current or past fellows, or have started with mentors. And so you'll kind of get a really good feel about what the program is and looks like. And then again, like I said before, I just want to make sure I answer any question that you might have about the program, and then talk about kind of next steps. So with that said, I'm going to share my screen really quick. Give me 1 second. All right, cool. Can everybody see that? A little thumbs up or something. Okay, sounds amazing. So again, this is for you underrepresented professionals who want to get involved in NACA through the Leadership Fellows Program. I have the honor and privilege of serving as the 2020 through 2022 Leadership Fellows Coordinator. My name is Tim Johnson. I use he, him, his pronouns. And again, just welcome. So we're going to jump right into it. Get this to go. All right, so this is the current class right now. So it's our 2020-2021 class. So these are the folks that I have had the honor to work with as my first class as the coordinator for the program. So Marla from Limestone College, Steve from University of Washington, Tacoma. You have Dominique, aka Damo, down at GSU, Georgia State. Lindsay works at Worcester State University. Ashley Carter is at University of North Carolina, Charlotte. Craig is at Towson University, and Clarissa is at the University of the Pacific West. So that is our current class right now, representing a good portion of all of our regions within the association, and again, just a joy to work with. And these are the great people who get to mentor them. So this is Shantia, who works at North Carolina A&T State University. Jark is down at Texas A&M University. Kateacher is here with me up here in South Canada at Syracuse University. Josh, he's at UMass Amherst. Ladarius, who couldn't join us on the call today, but he is down at Virginia Commonwealth University. Shante Moore is at Prairie View A&M. And Courtney is at Dillard University. So these are the folks that are part of the program who help with our mentees from a mentor standpoint, everything from presentations to just navigating the field of student activities in higher education itself. And I just want to give a quick shout out to last year's cohort, so 2019, 2020. So these are just some amazing folks that I got to work with as part of being a mentor for their class, and then projecting me into this position of being a coordinator. And so I just want to give you a snapshot of what that looks like. And so these are some more just fantastic folks that you'll get to hear from on the call in just a few. So one of the cool things we get to do at NACA Live, which we didn't have happen this year due to being in the pandemic, was the NACA Live Diversity Dance. So more times than not, we unofficially get to plan this, and it's a really great experience. Most times, I think the last 3 years, me and Dante Jones have become the unofficial host of the Diversity Dance. And it's just a really good time. I think here, students get to kind of see us as professionals just kind of kick back and really have a good time. It's a great way to kind of either cap off the experience, depending on what Diversity Dance is, or kick off NACA Live experience. And here, what you'll see is most times the current class takes time to put this on. I think that Akiana was part of the DEI positions that with that planning team and got to spearhead that. And so this one got to see that we get together like a family every time we meet. And this is a very small snapshot of what the Leadership Fellows family actually consists of. So as you can see, we are a happy-go-lucky bunch full of melanin and other underrepresented identities as well. So just about the program. So to familiarize underrepresented populations within the association through governance programs, professional development opportunities, and to diversity leadership within the association. So really what you'll kind of see later on is that there is a timeline of kind of how this got implemented. What we saw through the association was that just wasn't enough representation from folks from marginalized populations. But it was important that we kind of to put that work kind of at the forefront of our mission and values within NACA. And so you'll see this timeline here shortly. So this is our historic timeline, and these are just some key dates. This is not everything that we've done as an association, If that was the case, that would be my entire PowerPoint. And I don't want to bore you with all the great facts. I want you to kind of see some of the things that were really important. So in 1988, Board of Directors member Dr. Bill Smittick from Johns Hopkins University submitted a proposal to introduce a diversity initiative that created the Leadership Fellows. So this is the first introduction to the association in which we were conceptualized as a piece of it. In 2002, the Leadership Fellow Program was actually reintroduced back into the Leadership Development Program for underrepresented populations. So this is where the, I would say, the official first class kind of took flight and really hit the ground running. And some of the folks who are part of that class on the call, and so I'll probably pick on one of them, just talk about their experience a little bit later. 2006, under the Board of Directors Chair, Steve Ransom, at the time was down at Prairie View A&M University. Leadership Fellows program was redesigned to the model that currently exists. So that model is we get one fellow from each region. There are 7 regions within the association, and then typically try to get mentors from those same regions as well, who will mentor them through the program. And that's kind of our cohort style. So it's 7 positions. Every now and then we get lucky to get some flexibility from our front office, so we can either add an additional seat. It just kind of depends on where we are, make sure we're fiscally responsible that as well, or if we just see that the interest is just overwhelming, that's kind of been the trend over the last few years. I think there's just been some talk about how we can redesign that kind of moving forward. And lastly, in 2019, there have been over 100 plus fellows within the program, with a current cohort of 7 members from all over the country. And then that's still to be true. I would probably say now we're starting to knock at that 125 number. And we've even gotten creative and started doing some honorary memberships as well. So you might see Kayla Brennan on the call. So it's part of one of those honorary leadership fellows. Woot woot. Kayla does a lot of great work for us behind the scenes, along with Sarah, who works over our diversity initiatives. And really just making sure the association doesn't forget the reason why we are in existence, but also remembering that we can be a part of the evolution moving forward. And so that's been really key to the success of the program, and which you'll kind of hear from folks who have been able to go through it, mentor, be the coordinator of it, and then have gone on to ascend to as high up as Board of Director Chair for the association as well. So here's some of the roles, responsibilities, and benefits of the program. So as a fellow, there's one per region. You get the attendance of a national conference, monthly mentorship calls, then monthly calls with me as the coordinator or whoever that person is at that position at that current time. They get also to present nationally. So those are just kind of the few kind of key things we point out at the very beginning. You also get to continue on once you get through the national presentations to do the same thing at the regional level. You're able to be published within our beautiful magazine put together each quarterly. So you get a chance to do that. And you get to connect with both people at the NCP and RCP level. And again, you probably see that some of those acronyms have changed with the shift of NACA. So we'll update that, but you'll get a chance to do a lot of that work. And typically kind of falls in the category of our diversity initiatives that may come out of DAG. So that's our diversity advisory group. So I've been talking a lot today, so I do apologize. And so some of those things should happen in that way. And then one of the awesome things about Leadership Fellows too is, so I remember my cohort, my program coordinator at that time was Tan Lee. And one of the things we got to implement was our fireside chats at that time, which is really great. So this is our affinity group now chats that you'll see where people who have the same identities kind of shared across the board can talk about a multitude of topics based and centered around identity work. So that was really great as well. So here's just some other great things that we get to do as part of the Leadership Fellows program. So we do a reception with the Board of Directors. And it's not what you would think of a reception. Like it's not like real stiffy and really uptight. No, this is when our BOD members get to just kick back, really just talk about their ascendance to those roles and how they got there. It's really neat too when you see that there are other fellows who started the fellows program and now are serving in the board of directors role. And so that's really inspiring to see. I think one of the great things about that reception too is they don't forget the humble beginnings. That's one of the things I've kind of talked about with some of my colleagues across the field is they don't forget the trenches. So they're very much in the thought process. So we understand what it means to be where you are and want to get you to whatever the next step or level is for you. So that's one of the things that I really appreciate about that reception. It's just being a chance to break that barrier wall that they're not untouchable, but they're actually in it with us. And I do appreciate that. The multitude of connections that you'll make just in the fellowship call alone. So folks who are here and interested, a lot of people you'll see on the call are part of the program in some way, form, or fashion. And that's just an extension of your network the moment that you are into the program. Serving as diversity and inclusion champions for the association. So again, do a lot of the work at both the regional and national level. And then, if this isn't enough, the complimentary registration at the national conference. And let me tell you, it goes a long way, especially when your institution is like, well, we don't know. You'd be like, don't even worry about it. I got the registration covered. Just get me flued out, book my room, and we good. And so that's one of the things that they do. And the reason why they see it as an investment in your professional development. So it's just important for them to make sure that they continue to do that in that way. And we guarantee that for folks who are able to be part of the program moving forward. Then these are just some other great things that you'll see happen. So folks who have typically went through the program got to go on and be all these roles. And I won't go through and reading them all, but I think it's just really good to kind of see what can happen post the program. And one of the trends that I've been able to watch since my time is that now more of our fellows are coming in already starting at one of these levels and really just running it up. And that's really good for us as a program, because I mean, we're still attracting people who want to learn and get access to other areas, but not afraid to go ahead and jump in and get their hands dirty, right? Go ahead and do some of that volunteer work, working in those chair positions at the regional and or national level. And so I just want to kind of say that this can be your trajectory if you so want it to be, but it's also not limited to the things that are on the screen. So I'm going to put that out as well. Cool. So this is the fun part. So this is when I get to take a chance to just stop talking so much and let you hear from some great folks. And so again, I told them that they didn't know that I was going to call upon them. And so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but I'll definitely throw these questions in the chat. But the folks I call on, just, really easy. Just take a moment to, one, take a deep breath, because you don't know who it is yet. But two, think about the one word you would describe the program, how this program has benefited you in and outside of NACA. And then share your journey through the program. So what was it like at the time that you went through the program? I got 4 folks. So I'm just going to actually kind of share briefly on these questions. And all of them come from the very first cohort to the current cohort and everything in between. And so there's no pressure there. But I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to be able to see you all, and we all can see each other. So the first person I'll allow to answer those questions, I think he's on the call, is Jamar, if he is available to jump in. Hey, my guy, how are you, man?
I felt it in my spirit that I might be chosen first. But thanks, Tim. Appreciate the opportunity to speak, and so happy to see a lot of family on the call. And if you could put the question in the chat, Tim, real quick. But I kind of think I remember at least the first one. So honestly, for me, like, my fellows experience started before I even was bestowed like the honor of becoming a fellow, because I remember going to my first NACA or NACA and having people connect or reach out to me just about getting involved, period. And so I remember like Tim and Tane, Ebony, several others on the call that were just like, hey, like, you should consider like coming to this session or getting involved in the association. And so that kind of welcoming that I received, because I was somebody who worked in a different functional area and then transition activities, I felt so lost my first semester just, in my role. And so it was really, this is my bad. It was just one word about the program. I'm sorry, y'all. So one word about the program is trailblazing. I'll leave it at that. I highlighted my experience just a little bit. And so it was definitely the catalyst for me to get involved in the association on a regional and national level. So I'm definitely grateful for that opportunity. And that's also like number 3, how it's kind of helped me within my role and being an asset to my institution, as well as learning more about the association and really kind of making a positive impact and paying it forward, if you will, to others, the way people kind of have invested in me. So sorry for talking too much, Tim, my bad, but thank you.
No, that's exactly why I didn't give y'all a heads up. Typically we would be in person, and that's the same way that it would happen. So I remember when I came to a session, I think Tam was leading that one. He was like, all right, just jump up and say how you feel. And people just popped up and said it. So I figured I'd do it the same way, but just kind of call y'all out a little bit, but it's all out of love. All right, cool. So now I'm gonna be selfish and go to somebody in my cohort to answer those same questions. Marissa, what's happening?
Hi, everyone. Okay, so one word about the program, family. This gave me, and I'm going to explain why I use that word, family. This program gave me a family across the nation, people that I get to connect with, people I get to run ideas past, people I get to pick their brains for. So this is truly a family away from home and a family within the field. My experience within the program, I wasn't sure what I was getting into when I applied. I knew that I wanted to try something new. And when I applied, I kind of didn't ask for permission. I just said I was doing it. And then when I got my letter saying, hey, you're a part of the cohort, I was like, it's actually happening. And it was an opportunity to have mentorship, an opportunity to build friendship, an opportunity to grow. and develop as a newer professional. And I want to give a shout out to my mentor, who I believe is still on the call, Kiana. And we still have that relationship that where I get to text her, she texts me, and we check in on each other. And how has this helped you both in your in and outside of NACA? So within NACA, I have continued my role with the West region in participating in RCPC. And also, I'm currently the chair for the scholarships committee. So I oversee our small little group, and we review all the scholarships that come in and make sure our students and professionals get that money. I've truly enjoyed my involvement, and I'm excited that I continue to be involved. And at my new institution, I actually was able to bring NACA to our institution. I am the one that asks for the funding annually. I make sure that we continue to have our membership, and it's something that's truly a part of who I am and what I get to do and why I'm in love with my field and I don't want to leave my field.
That's my roommate, aka fellowship partner right there. Okay, holding it down. Love to see it. So I mean, as you can see already, family is a word we use a whole lot within the association. I think more times than not, we don't look at ourselves as a cohort. We're a family, and that's just what we're all about. So so the next two people, I can't bring up one without the other because it just wouldn't be right. If you when you hear from them, if they don't ask you about the program, then you haven't actually had a true interaction with them. And the reason why I say that is I remember being an undergrad student and a grad student, and both times it was, so when you joining the program? What you waiting on? Like you're just trying to, oh yeah, get your job first. Okay, since you get your job, we're gonna see your application, right? And so as I got my job, I remember getting that side eye from one person in particular, because they were talking to another mentor of mine, Melanie Bullock, and they were both standing together. And it was just like, all right, Tim, I've seen you 3 times. What's going on? And then the other one is like just a very quiet, humble human being. And when they speak, man, I'm tell you, it changes the room, shakes the room. And so I'm gonna bring them both up. They can choose who wants to go first. But Demetria and Ebony, if you just want to share about those questions, if you didn't see that coming, I don't know what else to tell you. I think we all knew that was coming.
Hey y'all, I'm at the nail shop. I just wanted y'all to know that before y'all see me. But hello, everybody. How are y'all? Hey, everybody. Demetria, you can go first, okay?
Yeah, we'll let you get those nails taken care of.
I know. Sorry, everybody. I'm actually attending. Ebony Turnbow is getting married this weekend in St. Louis. She's a leadership fellow, so I came to St. Louis to come to her wedding. So we love each other a lot.
Oh my gosh, I love Ebony. Both of them actually. So hey family, it's so exciting. I'm so excited. It's so good to be with you all this afternoon. One word about the program, inspirational. I think this is really one of those experiences that as much as you put into it is what you're going to take from it. And know that your fellow's family pours into you all the time, like legit all the time. My experience with the program, so I never will forget, it was Boston 2010, I think, was the first time that I actually attended a NACA convention. Previous campuses, I'd only gotten into campus activities probably maybe a year or so before that. But had other functional positions on a college or university campus. And it was inspirational for me going into that meeting, this same type of session, getting to know people, and really thinking, this would be something, to take a look at. And it really gave me, as a woman of color, specifically an opportunity to really get to know other folks who were having some of the same challenges, issues, things that were great happening for them. In their role. So my experience with the program, that particular year, there were actually 2 fellows who were out of the Mid-America region. So myself and Will Atkins were together at our regional conference, and then we went to the national convention, which was it's not how that works with, how the program works now. I would say, how has it helped me both inside and outside of NACA? I think having the fellows to lean on gave me the motivation to move toward running for chair of the board. So I was actually the first African American female to chair the board of directors for NACA. and could not have done that without the support of my fellow's family, right? So as challenges were coming or as questions were coming, and I know just the times that I ran even for the board, just to become a general board member, you know, there was always a prayer circle, right? Right before we went out to do our board nomination presentations and things like that. So that's the help inside of NACA. I think outside of NACA, the experiences related to the large scale programming, the decision making, the understanding of how to work with folks that you don't see on a daily basis. Y'all, for real, like now going into pandemic mode, I was the Zoom queen. Why? Because we've been using Zoom for I don't know how many years as a part of NACA. So even the most simplest of things, right? It really gave me kind of that experience to say, oh, well, no, we got this. Oh, you got this question. We can figure this out. You know, we've done this before. We're not new to this. We're true to this, as they say. And then when I think also the experiences that I've had as a board member and what that looks like with making some of the more difficult or more challenging decisions, because of my time with the NACA board and being a leadership fellow, I have a better sense of understanding and can be a little bit more settled in how I make those decisions. So I was trying to take up some airtime so Ebony could get settled. I'm gonna pass the mic to Ebony.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Demetria. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. My name is Ebony Ramsey. I use she, her pronouns. I have been volunteering from NACA since 1998. That sounds crazy to say, but it is what it is. I went to UNC Charlotte, and as an undergraduate there, I was exposed to NACA while I was a student programmer. So just like how we all get our start. And so one word that I would use to describe the program would be transformational. I've definitely seen the program evolve, and shout out to Tim for doing the history there, because it's so cool to see it actually actualizing. In 2005, I was a leadership fellow, and at that time, the program was like undergoing like all these changes, and they asked myself and Shantae White at the time if we could like put our heads together and come up with a better plan, because I basically was like, you know, this program could be so much more, like, you know, but we needed some resources, we needed some attention, and really making it intentional. And so we submitted a proposal to Steve, and we were able to get it passed by the board of directors in 2006. And so the program is been flourishing ever since. And that makes me proud to be a part of something that's been so transformational. I've pretty much done a lot of different volunteer positions with NACA, but currently right now I'm sitting in the chair position. I'm the chair of the board of directors, coming in after Demetria coming in hot. This has been a very interesting year for me to sit in this role. And so I can talk all day about that. If you want to offline, just hit me up. But today, I just think I'm sharing my experiences, and I hope that you all see that we are truly a fabric within the association that has been able to be established. And I'm just proud of that. And like I said, like we are involved in each other's lives. So I'm going to one of the other fellows' weddings today. I've been to many people's weddings. I've seen people's children being born. So this, if you are deciding to become a part of our family, it is truly something that extends past professional. We are here to support each other professionally, but it's something that, you know, it just becomes easy to love the folks that are in this group because we have been there for each other. So I guess that's all I'll say for right now, but I'm super excited to see all the new faces on the call. I'm excited to meet the new fellows at our board happy hour that'll be next week. But hopefully that does what I needed to do, Tim. Sorry. I hope I didn't go over time.
No, that was fantastic. I mean, just I wanted to say thank you for everybody who just took time to share and to drop those gems of knowledge. I think it gives a good overview of the program. And I think One of the things that captured my attention when I did the program was it wasn't necessarily what was on the slides, it's what people had to say about the program, because those are real and true lived experiences. And one thing I've noticed is that people didn't sugarcoat it. So in the same way that Ebony was talking about, times where it was hard, like it looks very different now than it was when she went through the program. That's good for me to hear, because I don't want it to be fluff, and I don't want you to feel like you're signing up for something that's just too good to be true. It's definitely what you put in is what you get out of it, and then some. But I think if you really trust the program for what it's worth, you get so much beyond what's just on the surface of the program. So the last person that I wanted to switch it over to is somebody from our current class, just to kind of see what they're thinking. And this is Steve. So Steve, may I have you just come on to the front of the screen and just share your current experience.
Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Aiden. I use he, him, his pronouns. Again, I'm at the University of Washington, Tacoma. My one word is a heightened word, and I would say eye-opening for me. So my experience in the program has been phenomenal. So awesome was also on the list. So to give some context, my background prior to coming to student activities is I was in housing for a long time, but my heart was in student activities. But with my experience, I knew about NACA from my best friend who was more involved in college. So when it came my first time to go to a NACA regional conference, when I started this job a year ago, I was calling her because I didn't really know anything. I didn't really have a lot of connections. So I was calling her being like, I know you were in the student perspective, but like, what was this about? Please tell me everything. So I came in feeling like I didn't know a ton about NACA. And this experience really helped me to learn a lot more about what was going on, but also to make some really phenomenal connections. The word family has been thrown out a lot, and I just want to confirm that. I feel like my cohort of folks who are all here, hey everyone, shout out to you all, has just been awesome. It's been weird not to meet them in person, but I feel like I've gotten so close with them, even just through the virtual screen. So I think I came in being like, oh, this will be a good experience to help me learn and grow professionally. And I wasn't anticipating how much love and support and just awesomeness in the people that came along. So that was a pleasant surprise for me, and I'm so happy about that. So how it's helped me both in and outside of NACA, I kind of touched on that a little bit. In NACA, I feel like I know a lot more about the organization. I know a lot more about what's going on when I'm leading the delegation, but also now I'm motivated in the future to continue supporting NACA in other ways. And outside of the organization, honestly, just having those connections with my current cohort has been amazing. We did, just to give some context, we did a Secret Santa exchange during the holiday season. Clarissa was my Secret Santa, and she bought me 2 books that I'm so excited to read. I'm so thankful for those. Shout out to Craig. He's got Brunch Gods, right? That's what it is. And oh my God, if you follow that Instagram, it'll make you so hungry, but it looks so good. So honestly, the outside of NACA has been wonderful, because having those connections and learning about each other, and seeing those shrimp and grits the other day on those Instagram, just so good.
Oh man. So I mean, again, I can't, I wasn't here trying to make anything. I'm not trying here to sell you a product. My goal here today is really just to get you to understand, I think this is beyond a fabulous program. It is much more than just a professional network. I think one of the things that I truly have appreciated is just the support that we get from our front office. So again, just shouting out Kayla and Sarah and what they do. Definitely Demetria and Ebony for the work that they have done on the board. And one person that I want to shout out to, and I don't see them on the call, is Jericho. So Jericho was the last program coordinator for Leadership Fellows prior to me taking the position. And I think her and Tam both gave me some just fantastic resources. So I think it motivated me to push the program, I think, in keep going forward in a new direction, especially being in a hybrid virtual realm. And that's one thing I was concerned about, was just how are we going to be able to create this connection from a virtual space. But one of the funny things I happened to think about was they've been doing Zoom for years. So Zoom wasn't a new platform for us within NACA and how we met. It was just the component of being able to see people full body length at the national conference. And so that's one place we've removed. So I think with this current cohort, and shout out to the mentors who've been working with me in the cohort. One of the few changes that we made this year was we actually have mentor meetings too. So there's just time where it's just me and the mentors where we just meet and we kind of figure out like, what are things that we can better work on? What are things that you aren't sure about within the association that you want to learn? And so that's something that's grown with the program, is that it's evolving with time. And recognizing that just because you're a mentor doesn't mean you still can't have opportunities for professional growth and personal growth, right? And so I think on one of the mentor calls, I'm putting him on the spot here. I just remember we were talking about just working in a time of COVID. And Josh was just struggling, y'all, to make dinner for him. I got these ingredients. What can I make? Y'all help me out. Like, help me. And we stopped what we were doing, y'all, just help my man out. But it was just great that he trusted us enough through the screen to help figure out what to make. And the meal turned out good. So, shout out to him. And just, have an authentic moment. Craig, please make sure you drop your Instagram handle in the chat for the brunch guys. Look, I co-sign. Life-changing. Life-changing. So I mean that's really like, as far as for presentation and schedule, but I do want to leave some time for questions, or other mentor mentees, current fellows, past fellows want to just jump in and say something. This is a great opportunity to do so. But if you have questions about the program, there's a wealth of knowledge and viewpoints that I know we'd be happy to share. So, and you can drop them in the chat. You can come off mute. You can also send them to Kayla and or Sarah if you need to, as well, if you want to send them privately, and they will make sure to get them to me.
Don't be bashful, y'all. Come on. While they're thinking of a question, I will say I dropped in the chat. One of my favorite parts is knowing I got a group of folks that I know pretty well and whose opinions I value and trust, like, a lot. So I can always go to a group of folks and like, hey, anybody got insight on this? What are your thoughts about this? I've got this issue, I'm facing this challenge, or I'm thinking about working with this artist, what y'all know? And they tell us, right? Full stop. We get all the information we need. So I really appreciate that.
Tane, can you say something? I know you're on here.
Hello, I'm here. Yeah, so I think there's not much that needs to be said. I think you've heard from an awesome bunch of people that, inspire me every day and are amazing professionals. And, that's kind of, what was really going to say as well, is that this program is life-changing. I think for me coming into this, for those who don't know, Ebony and I go way, way back. We actually went to undergraduate school together. She went the traditional route, going straight to grad school for higher education. I went and became an engineer. So, but having that connection with Ebony, and it was funny because my graduate assistant during my my grad school days with engineering was actually in student activities, and so they sent me to NACA, and I fell in love and didn't even realize it. And so when I decided to change careers, it was a no-brainer about where I needed to be and where I needed to start. And so, so this cohort of people, there's no lying behind it. Everything you see is pretty genuine, and you'll see this every day. Even I wish we were in person. You would probably even be able to feel it. It's a little bit different, and we travel in packs, and so you'll see a bunch of us just walking around the convention center. And you're like, who the heck are those people? And what are they doing? Because they look like they're having a lot of fun. And so, but understand we're working really hard as well. So, I mean, that's one thing that you'll realize very quickly about us, is that we have a lot of fun, but we worked considerably harder than probably the next person you'll meet. And so, and that's what will push you as well, is this group will not allow you to be complacent, and will push you to other things, and will volunteer you to go to certain places and do certain things. And so, but it's all with love. And so that's hopefully you'll get that throughout the conversation.
I don't know if y'all watching the screen like I am, but every time somebody says something that we all resonate with, you see a bunch of like, yep, like, that's what it is. And that piece about we will not let you be, he didn't want to say it, but mediocre. Once you agree, that's it. You are in it for the long haul, and but it's good because I think you learn so much about yourself and what you're capable of doing. In the support is amazing. The one thing I will say too is, and I think this is something that one of my colleagues would say is, this is literally a book of resources. Everybody on this call, whatever you are looking to do, accomplish, try, need a document, whatever it is, it's on here. I can guarantee you that. I think there's not a day that goes by that one of my group chats with fellows doesn't go off with either a question being asked, a joke being shared, a link to a concert, like whatever you need, we can find it. Okay, so I'm pretty confident in that. For that, I think it's just really great to have a space where you can just grow and do that. What is application process? Any tips? Yeah, great question. So applications for fellows will open on April 1st, and it'll be open for a month. So April 1st to May 1st. So it's really easy to keep in mind. As far as producing a good application, being authentic in your responses, I would definitely say that, and kind of having an idea of what you're wanting to see out of the program. I don't want to say anything that prompts a response out of you or to make it put this will sound good because they said it on the call, but just things you will look for out of a program that is for underrepresented populations, and as a new professional. So things that you may see as you struggle with maybe this year and the first year or two of your professional field. If you're lacking things like a mentor or guidance, and you want that to be part of the program, obviously you heard speak a lot about that. Is that one of the initial components of having a mentor? So something that you're looking for, but also what you're looking out of a mentor. So not just having one, but what do you want that person to be able to provide for you is key. Because we take that same information when we do interviews, and we try to make sure we match you with somebody who is exuding those capabilities. And that's one of the key pieces of the program. To me, it's kind of like if you're familiar with leadership and how they say it's a very short week, very long days, and you kind of just have to trust the process of how you arrive at the last day. It's the same thing with the program. I mean, we're very meticulous in how we pick who is a part of it from what region and who the mentors are and the pairing process. And again, me being in this role now almost a year, I trusted my colleagues a lot to help guide me in the direction of how we pick the cohort and the people who are with them. And it's one of those things where we haven't missed yet for the most part. And it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. There are some flaws within the system, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. But one of the things I do trust is that people are very committed to seeing the success of the other person, especially if they're walking hand in hand with the person. But that, again, that application opens for mentees for April 1st through May 1st. And then once that closes, applications for mentors will open May 1st and close June 1st. So if you're looking to be a mentor or come back and be a mentor, the application will open on May 1st for you as well. But great question, Pierre. Absolutely, you can definitely stay connected. So, and that's funny that you say that. So I think he's still on the call because he's a great example of this. I don't see him, but so Josh Dodds is a great example of how to stay connected to the program if you aren't selected to be necessarily an NTR mentor.
He's on the call. He's here.
Oh, he's here. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna bring Josh up. He can talk about his experience. I think he has a really authentic experience of how he did that. So, Josh, if you got a,
can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I was not a fellow for like 2 years. I kind of just I ended up connecting with the fellows because my mentor and supervisor is a former fellow, and she introduced me. But I applied once. I didn't get in the first time, but I was really sort of I just stayed connected because the people were just like really great, and everybody was really nice. Sorry about my son. This is how it works, y'all. Everybody was really nice, and like, you know, they just let me sort of be me, and they let me hang out. They didn't make me feel like sort of like an outsider because I wasn't a part. You know, it was just really, everybody was really friendly. They invited me everywhere at NACA, and I was looking for a space to connect. So even if I didn't become a fellow, I still was going to, like, you know, hang out with the people and connect with everybody, because after a while, when you go to NACA and you're just a part of when you're just going there with your students, you're looking to connect somehow, it's hard to find it. And I was looking for something more than just kind of going and sitting at the bar with my supervisor, because that's what my supervisor was doing essentially, just hanging out and stuff like that. I was looking for just something a little bit deeper to bring home and to bring back. And the fellows program was it. And even just just hanging out with everyone and connecting and just staying connected with the program and following sort of the schedule that the fellows also were a part of also helped me stay connected and supporting them in their seminars and doing things like that. So, and that led me to applying again and, getting in as a mentor. And this is, it's changed my entire experience on how I even go through NACA, even before I was a fellow. It just changed my experience, like looking forward to something and looking forward to connecting with people. And even after the first time I kind of hung out with everyone, like the first couple of years, people stayed connected with me on social media and they were inviting me everywhere they were going, like, hey, come apart, so it wasn't like a members only club. And that's kind of like what I appreciated about it, was that they didn't treat me that way. They sort of embraced me and they didn't really know me. They knew me through someone else who was a part of the fellows program and they just embraced me. So that's kind of how I've got here. And that's really it. There's definitely ways to stay connected, follow the schedule that they go through at NACA, and just keep networking with people, build relationships. Like I think Tim was the first person that I met, like, and had a conversation with, and then after that it was like Tim bringing me around and introducing me to people, and then that's kind of how it happened. So even when I came back again to NACA and I connected with everybody, it was like, hey, meet the new fellows, meet the new mentors, like that. So definitely, just enjoyed the connection and the family vibe and things that it's done. So it's definitely changed my life as far as like professionally and personally. So
Thanks, man. I think Dimitri, you had your hand up.
Yeah, so, and I'm glad that question was asked, and definitely Josh is spot on. I remember seeing Josh and meeting Josh, and one of the interesting things to keep in mind, friends, because of the nature of the purpose of the program, we're never going to be that exclusive group, right? And that's one of the things that I've always appreciated about being a fellow. When I came to NACA, like I said, I was not a new professional. I was just new to NACA, which is how I was able to come into the program. But I was a little apprehensive. I was a little nervous at first because I'm like, wow, these people are the best of friends and they know each other very well, and they hang out outside of NACA, hang out outside of work and that kind of stuff. And am I going to be able to fit in? There was, once that initial conversation was had, it was never the feeling of, oh, I'm not a part of this group or a part of this team, because that's not who we are, right? So when you think about historically underrepresented populations, I think because so many of us come from those backgrounds, we already know how to make people feel welcome, right? We know what we need to do to bring people into that, into the family, so to speak. And a lot of times when you see folks walking around, you never know if they're a fellow or not, because we intentionally don't make people feel like they're not a part of what we're doing, if that makes sense. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that question. And yeah, I mean, I remember when I was a coordinator, there was a year where we had a ton of applications and we had to say no to some people. And, that for me was very hard, but, the program is the program. But I like what Demetria said, like, we're never going to make anybody feel less than, and we're going to make everybody feel welcomed. And so, because you have to understand, like, for every Tim or for every Tane or for every Demetria that is recruiting others, everybody on this call is as well. And so I was looking at our group me of kind of the I don't want to call it old head group me, but some of the other NACA fellows. There's 80 people in this chat. So imagine if 80 people recruited one person for 7 positions. Unfortunately, there's going to be some people left out. And so please don't take that to be slighted. I'm not saying that you're not going to be selected. I'm just saying if for some reason or another that happened, know that, you have another opportunity, or just come around, just come around. We'll get you activated. We'll get you engaged. And, we have some mentors that never served in the program, and we may see you as a good fit as a mentor instead of just a participant. And so, yeah, I mean, and it's definitely, we're definitely not the type of people that are going to be standoffish at all. So please just come say, hey, it can be intimidating because we're such a large group in person, but I promise you it's all love. So.
Go ahead, Josh.
yeah, I think I'm really the prime example of that. And I remember Tim, I don't remember if you remember the interview. I was like, I was a little embarrassed, like, of coming back because I had got rejected and I didn't know who knew. And I was like, man, maybe they didn't, I don't know if my application was strong, or, if they thought I was corny, I was just like, I don't know. So I was really nervous to like come back around, but I did anyway, just because I really I think I didn't get in the first time. So like, I think don't take it personally. They really, like, people here really don't care. They're really, it's really, and that's really what drove me to apply again, was like, they're, they embrace me regardless. And, so I think just, don't feel bad about that, and just come around and just be around and interact, and you'll find your place. And I was really nervous about that initially. And because I really wanted to get, like, the first time I was really eager. I was like, I really wanted to get in. I finally found something to do here, because I'm going to NACA twice a year, and I could finally find something. I didn't get in the first time, and I was like a little bummed about it, more than I thought it would be. And then I was like, I don't know if I should go back. And then when I came back, it was like, everybody was just talking to me, and that intimidating feeling, like Demetra said, was like, because everybody was so close and everybody knew each other. So I was just like, I don't know. And I think I'm just really the prime example of just sticking with it and staying around it, but not just because you want to get in, but because of what they bring to the table and how they make you feel and how they embrace you. So that's really what like kind of drove me. So I think if anybody has any questions about it, or like, I'm probably the best person to talk to when it comes to that, because I had no affiliation or no connections, and just kind of made that. And even though I didn't get in the first time, I'm here now, and I'm grateful for that. So
Yeah, all great points. The last thing I would say is, when I went through the interview and then selection process this year, big shout out to teacher Yabi and Kiana, who held me down during those times. Ooh, that was rough. That was like right when we just went into this pandemic, y'all. And I was like, I don't know, can I defer a year? But it was interesting, because I remember us having in conversations about some folks that maybe had interviewed for a mentee position who's like, man, I think they'd be really good over here instead be connected to the program, or vice versa. Or here's a person who has like never seen anything like this before, and how this can be impacted. So a lot of conversation goes on behind the scenes of, even if it's not a good fit. I think there was one lady who applied, and Katitra immediately was like, this isn't the year for her, but I know somebody who would be a really good fit to kind of help mold some things I think really good for the program. And so taking the extra step to recognize that, like, just because you didn't get picked doesn't mean I still can be part of your network. And that was a huge thing for me, because I think sometimes, even like in job interviews, sometimes people interview you and don't give you feedback, or don't figure out, like, just because you're not a good fit for us here doesn't mean you're not a good fit for the field. Maybe we just need somebody to just say something to you that hasn't been said, or connect you with the right person. And so that's what I enjoy about just this network and this group of people, is that they really take home to you as a person, not just you as a professional, but you as a person. How can we develop you in all ways, form, and fashion? And so again, I'm just honored and blessed to be able to share this space with these people, and to call them my friends and family, big bros, little sisters, aunties, uncles, whatever you can imagine. That's our interaction. So any last questions? We got like a few minutes left, and I want to be respectful of people's time, especially on a Friday, both to our East Coast and West Coast.
Can I say something real quick, Tim?
Yeah, please.
I will say that I know most everybody on this call, and I'm not the one that works with the Leadership Fellows, because I see them in all sorts of other positions throughout the association, and in our volunteer positions. And so if you apply and don't make it, you should definitely try to apply for other positions that interest you, because there's probably something that we have for you that will help you develop your skills professionally. And you'll still be running into all these people in all the different capacities that they serve. So the Leadership Fellows is a program that the office is very, that we think is very important, and that Kayla and I advocate for whenever it's needed, which isn't very often, because everybody in the office supports it. So it's definitely one of our priorities. And I kind of want to be a fellow and a mentor, because I didn't get to do any of that. So I just appreciate everybody being here and all the things that the mentors and mentees do. And hopefully I'll see all of y'all on some sort of volunteer call at some point.
Yeah, those are great points. And if you're ever wondering, maybe you decide the Leadership Fellows program isn't for you, or it doesn't happen this year and you're not sure what else is out there for you, Sarah and I are happy to talk through our other available opportunities with you. I also wanted to say that I know Tim mentioned in the first part of his presentation that a lot of what you all do, what the fellows program does with our conference planning committees is in the DEI realm. We're actually working on kind of switching that, especially as, you know, we're switching to new structures this year anyway, but really building your experience to match what you're looking for. So if DEI work is where you want to live and breathe all day, every day, love that for you. We can make that happen. But if you want to get experience on the business side or the education side, the membership side, we're really going to work to build that experience for you on those levels. And then also, as we are ending today, I just want to say thank you to Tim. You've done a great job in a very weird year for this program, and just shout out to you for keeping it up and doing what you can to make this happen in a virtual space.
Yes, you know what, Kayla, I would just like to piggyback quickly off of that. You know, thank you, Tim, for your leadership during this really ambiguous time. And thank you to Kayla and Sarah and everyone at the NACA office for also being with all of our volunteer leaders as we, again, just navigate COVID. You know, as Kayla and everyone else has mentioned, you know, just even if the Leadership Fellows is not for you in the cards at the moment, you know, there's plenty of opportunity for you to get involved. So don't get down if this is not the environment that you are selected into. But again, as Kayla and Sarah have said, everyone is always around, really friendly people, very approachable. So there will be plenty of time to get to know everyone in this particular set. Don't embarrass me, I'm talking. For this particular set of folks, for you to get to know us. So again, apply for what suits you, but just know that again, if this is not where you're selected, that there is a place within this association for you.
Yes, we're all laughing because this is prom Dante, and we just love him for just being him.
Dante with the
Yeah, you know, so from that note, from good Deacon Dante, if you have questions, feel free to email me. I will throw my email in the chat. Love to talk. If you're on the call that you want to connect with, please send them a message. Just saying, like, hey, share contact information. I see a hand.
Yeah, just real quick. And I know this is with 1 minute left. Can folks just drop the region that they're in? Because that might be helpful too if you're looking for somebody that you're trying to connect with within your region as well. Just throwing that out there.
Yes, please do that so people can connect with you. I'm in Mid-Atlantic. Okay, I get it wrong every time I say it out loud in my office, and so I was making sure I'm gonna get it right today. But yeah, feel free to email me tjohns46@swire.edu. It's in the chat. I know it's going crazy, so I'll drop it again once people are done putting the regions. And again, if you need help connecting with folks, Sarah and Kayla, who works in the front office, are more than happy to connect you as well. This is being recorded, so they'll put it in our NACA Connect, and you can go back and review it. For fellows, current, past, and mentors, please share this and help recruit folks to be part of the program. Again, we're going to have another strong class, starting in the summer of this year. And so, with that being said, thank you all so much for just being here. I'll stick around for a little bit, if it need be, to kind of chat and just reminisce. But other than that, you have an amazing Friday. Love you all, and hope to see applications.
Great. T. Leezy, man, what's up?